All right, so let's, Jonathan, based on your experience, how would you recommend firms handle licensure? Not every firm handles it the same way, about reimbursing, providing materials, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think they should, or even like, recognizing folks when they do get licensed, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think they should do it?
Yeah, well, I think licensure for the firm in general is a significant, and it's an investment, one, and it's also a selling point too, because obviously the more licensed professionals you have on your staff, I think the better you are. So, and for the firms to kind of acknowledge that importance, I think is crucial, because it gives you motivation to keep going, knowing that there are people who are cheering you on. And so creating an environment, I think, where licensure is important and is valued is, I think, highly crucial. And that's not to say that, not everyone has the ambition of being registered. But I think for those who do have that ambition for whatever reason, I think that firms need to acknowledge that the importance of that decision, because there's so many people from starting school through to practice who don't make it. And to have kind of made it through all the rigor of schools and all the rigor of internship and all the rigor of studying for the exams and finally making it, for firms to acknowledge how important that is a huge deal. And luckily, I work for a firm that actually did convey how important that was for them. They took me out for dinner, and some of them actually bought me a bottle of wine and stuff like that, which made me feel really good. So it made me feel as though that my struggle actually mattered to them.
Yeah, I had to tell you, I speak to some folks who work at firms where they don't provide any resources, they don't provide any motivation. Maybe one of you will tell a similar story, I don't know, but and it's always shocking to me that they don't sort of see the value there. In any case, Jake, tell me about your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame to hear that firms don't support it so actively. I think when in the grand scheme of things, $210 per exam, I don't know what they've gone to at 5.0, but it's really a drop in the bucket in terms of income. So,
yep.
$1,400 for all exams. I mean, that's pretty small. So I think the way we handle it's really good, paying for the exams, but then also we provide paid time off for taking the exams, and that helps too. You don't have to worry about scheduling it on the weekend. I always like to take them on Fridays, take the day off, and then I can relax over the weekend. And at with the emerging professionals group in our office, what we started doing recently, just to raise awareness and provide motivation for people to get going on their exams, is when somebody passes, we'll post it on our intranet and just congratulate them, and it provides a good group of people studying.
Awesome. Debbie, how about you?
Well, the firm I worked for, they did give paid time off for taking the exams, but they didn't cover the cost or have any resources. And it kind of made it hard. I've since switched firms, largely because of the lack of sort of support behind being licensed, and recognizing that as a step forward and being willing to give more responsibility. I was in a very small firm, and so it was me and an architect and a draftsperson, and the architect couldn't see any room for handing over any actual architect responsibilities. So there wasn't room for me to grow there. So I felt switching firms into a place where they were really excited for me to be licensed was just such a welcome relief and a nice change. So it's been exciting to be here, where they put more emphasis on it, and they support me through it.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. There are a ton of people on this webinar right now, and many who will listen to this later. If you're working at a firm that doesn't support you on your path to licensure, there's a lot of firms out there who will. And I don't know, maybe that's our public service announcement for today. So don't feel like it's like that everywhere. There are a lot of places that do support aspiring architects.